Welcome to Conversations with Masesi, where my guest and I talk about life, family, love, community, and everything in between. Friends and family, the holiday season is here, and it often brings joy and celebration, but it can also be a time of increased stress and anxiety. Today, we are privileged to have Rachel, a mental health expert who will guide us through understanding and managing holiday stress effectively. Rachel?
Hi.
Good to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me back. I hope you're staying warm.
Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you. When? But it's Christmas time.
Yeah, exciting.
I'm going to forget about the cold. I'll think about the season. Season to be jolly.
Yeah.
But it's a stressful season.
It really, really is. Families feel the crunch every single year.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
All those expectations, right?
But is there a way, though, around this stressful time?
I think like a mindset shift, honestly. I think we are used to like it being this big event, but I think we have to face reality that like things are tight everywhere now.
Yes.
Just with the shift in the economy. So changing your mindset, focusing more on like experiences and things that you can do at home versus going out.
Yes.
Right? And remembering that like everyone's feeling the crunch, so big gifts don't need to be done.
But when we enter this season, we're always thinking it's time to spend. Like, what's the financial stress that happens during the season? And how can you help us to say, hey, these are the things you can do to avoid this?
Well, I mean, I'm a big person about budgeting. Like, I think that you
It's
should
Christmas, Rachel.
Oh, I know. I feel so lame even saying it, honestly, but it's so helpful. Have a budget and stick to that budget.
Yes.
Right? And like shop around. I always say to people, don't do Christmas shopping during the Christmas season. No one wants to be in the mall in December. Go earlier, look online, shop small business.
Definitely, you are a person with routines. Now I hear you again tell me about being disciplined.
Yeah, discipline and
But
routines.
it's not only the financial stress. There are relational stresses.
Yeah.
And this time of the year, some of us will be the first time we go see this other person we don't talk to. How do we maneuver that muddy place and during this time?
Honestly, boundaries. I think taking the time to think about, okay, this is what I'm okay saying and what I'm okay speaking about, and this is outside of my comfort zone, and just being really, really firm and clear about that. So if you're going home to your parents' place and your Uncle Jim is really controversial, then saying to your mom, hey, I'm worried about Uncle Jim, like I really don't want to talk about A, B, and C, and letting someone know so that they can kind of help buffer can be a big one. But just having those boundaries. If he comes up and he wants to talk about something that's on your no list, simply saying, sorry, I don't want to talk about that.
Do you have an option not to go home then?
I mean, yeah, you definitely do. I'm also a big believer that like Christmas and holidays can be what you make them.
That's true.
And that family isn't the only people that you can spend your holidays with. There's a lot of us that are estranged from our family members.
Yes.
So we've had to make these new traditions and find this new support group. So that's like friends. That's going to your best friend's parents' place because they love you and they're welcoming, right?
Yes.
But I don't want there to ever be this obligation that I have to go home because we're family. If you're not going to find joy being at home, then don't go.
Yeah.
Because the holiday seasons is about being happy and
Yes,
joy.
it's like season to be jolly. We always say that.
Yeah.
But we put ourselves under this stressful things that we do, and we want to have matching pajamas. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
How has social media honestly contributed to this season's stress and anxiety?
Social media can be so bad for people's self-esteem. You know, what we put on social media is only a small portion of what is actually going on. So that mom that has 6 kids and they're all lined up in front of that jumbo tree in matching pajamas, she definitely yelled at those kids 5 minutes before that picture. And I think we have to be honest about that.
Right.
We have to be honest about the way that social media shows you a fraction of it, and it's not going to show you the ugly stuff.
Yeah. And do you think maybe as mom who yell at our kids for to take pictures, we should be transparent and say that? That would be helpful for somebody else.
Yeah. I would definitely be like, this was a really hard picture to get.
Yeah.
And I had to bribe all of my kids with sugar cookies. We are now making a Costco-sized gingerbread kit so that we could take this picture.
Yes.
And being honest about it, because then you don't know what mom is struggling and is going to read that and go, okay, it's hard everywhere.
Yeah. And breathe and say, this is normal.
Yeah.
But this is the time we normally don't even maintain our healthy habits.
Nope.
What do we need to do, to take into account that this comes and it goes? Stay with the habits that you have.
Stay with the habits that you have, having that routine, right? Having that big schedule that says this is what I do and sticking to it. I know that you have to do Christmas shopping, but you also need to go to the gym because it makes you feel great about yourself after.
Yes, especially if that's part of your self-care.
Well, exactly. So I think just making sure that you uphold those routines and you do things that bring you enjoyment, right? So if that, is snowball fights with your kids, then do that. It doesn't matter that you haven't washed the dishes. The dishes will be there when the snowball fight is done.
But we were raised to wash the dishes before we go to bed.
Yeah. We got to change that because that created a lot of people that were unhappy and didn't know the signs of being burnt out or having poor mental health.
Talk about that.
So burnout is a big one, right? When you're not taking care of yourself and you're running full steam all the time, especially around the holidays, burnout happens. And that looks like not finding enjoyment in things that you used to, being really short-tempered and short with people is another one. And just like really not looking forward to the holidays, right? And I see it a lot. They'll be like, I'm not feeling it. And I say to myself, okay, but what are you doing to fill your bucket so you can give to other people?
Yes. And are you not feeling it because you have somebody's expectation and you're living out those expectations?
Yeah.
Because I think the way my mom did Christmas, I'm feeling I need to do it that way.
Yeah.
But I remember little of what she did for me, but I can tell you what she did for everybody else. Because she thought the bigger it is, the more acceptable I'll be to everybody.
Yeah.
Do we normally do those things to be accepted by our families or by the community maybe?
I think to be accepted, but I think there's also that pressure for like our kids to make sure that they have things that keep them up with what's going on with their peers.
Oh, yes.
Right? And I even get into that sometimes. My kid's like, Nike shoes, I really want them. And I'm like,
Oh, so and so has it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, they've got Minecraft, I want Minecraft, But then I take those moments and I'm like, what was your favorite part about Christmas last year?
Yes.
And he's like, when we saw the Christmas lights at the forestry farm and then we got hot chocolate and watched movies in our pajamas.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like what is fundamentally important to them and what they're going to remember aren't the gifts.
Yes.
Because I know that toy's going to be broken in 2 weeks.
That's true.
So
2 weeks is even long.
Yeah, that's like that's
by
a good
New Year's
life
Day,
of a toy.
By New Year's Day, you're like, where's that toy that I put on my credit card?
Yeah, exactly. That I'm paying off for the next 3 months. Right. Yeah.
So help our families. What is it that we can do to prepare for this season? And this season is not overwhelming for us.
I think talk to your kids, talk to your partner, make that budget, talk about things that they want to do, because sometimes you'll find that what they want really isn't all that expensive. But then when you can put it into your calendar and be like, yeah, like Christmas Day, we're going to go and listen to people carol, or we're going to do this. It kind of helps you feel like you accomplished things, even when there's not a ton of gifts sitting under the tree.
Right.
Being able to look back and be like, yeah, we have all these pictures, or yeah, look how full the calendar was. It can really help you feel prepared for the holiday season.
And if you need any other thing, there's so many people in the city that I need. Go volunteer at the food bank.
100%.
Friendship Inn.
Yep.
That way you're teaching your children to give during the season instead of getting, because I think we buy too many toys for them. And at the end of the day, they don't understand that they need to give at some point.
For sure. And I have a lot of clients that are estranged, or, they don't really have family nearby.
Yeah.
And when I say to them, like, go volunteer. They're always like, oh, really? Yeah. And then they come back and they're like, wow, like I see how hard it can get. And I see people trying to do their best. And it makes me feel really grateful for what I have. But it also shows me that like you can have enjoyment in life without that big dollar sign attached to it.
Yeah. And you just touched on people that are estranged from their families, people that are here by themselves.
Yeah.
Holidays can be stressful.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of what we can do?
Change the way that you look at what a holiday needs to be.
It
can be friends.
Yes.
It can be movies. It can be at home building a 1,000-piece Lego set. It can be whatever you want it to be, because you make your own traditions now.
Yes.
And being estranged from your family, or coming here maybe as like a newcomer and not having your family with you, doesn't mean that you don't get to celebrate or you shouldn't. It means that it's got to look a little bit different, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
being different is okay. And maybe you need to take a picture of that and help somebody else who needs to see what different looks like.
Exactly.
And what's your favorite thing about the holidays?
Oh, being able to be with my kids. Like, honestly, I find it gets so busy, like everybody feels it gets so busy with back to work and back to school, and seeing them, you know, at night from like 5 until 7:30 when we start bedtime.
Oh, yeah.
So when I get time off at Christmas, like, it's so exciting to have them be like, Mom, it's 6 a.m. Let's open gifts. And at the time, I'm like, oh.
Can I sleep?
I know. I'm like, I will do anything to just have like 45 more minutes.
Yes.
But I'm so thankful when I like walk out in my pajamas and I sit on the couch and they're so excited to just like be together and to snuggle. Like, that's my favorite part, just that quality time.
Yes. And if I'm stuck during this time and I need help, how can I reach you?
You can reach me on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can call me or text me 306-514-8796. Or you can email me, thehivementalhealth@gmail.com.
Yes. And the type of services that you offer, you can tell us the methods that you use.
Yeah.
Because it's too cold for me to get out.
Yeah. If you are finding that you don't want to get out of the house or that the roads are too bad, I offer secure messaging, text messaging, phone, and video.
Yes.
So you can stay in your pajamas and still get help.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Stay in my pajamas and get help. Yeah. You talked about creating a new tradition.
Yeah.
And do you have ideas of those new traditions that we can create? Because sometimes when you are going through something, you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
So for me personally, one that my family wants to implement is we want to bring our kids to the food bank to serve for Christmas.
Yeah.
So that's one that we want to start. But I mean, there's lots of little organizations doing different things.
Yes.
Like I know at the Delta Besbro, they've got all those like really cool sculptures that you can walk around and see. So like grab a Timmy's and walk around, spend some time outside in the sun if it's kind of warm.
If it's kind of warm, that's the thing. If it's kind of warm. It's been so good to have you here.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed having this conversation with you, and I look forward to many more and to hear what our viewers are saying about employing your services and reaching out to you.
Definitely.
Yes. Understanding holiday stress allows us to approach the season with mindfulness and compassion. By implementing healthy coping strategies and focusing on what truly matters, we can create meaningful and fulfilling holiday experiences. Thank you, Rachel, for your valuable insights and guidance. That's a wrap for today. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms to keep the conversation going. Thank you for joining us on Conversations. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you and yours. Shalom.